Okay, Matt. Back again, back again. We got more, well, I guess less madness. We'll get to it a little bit later, but all the favorites kind of boring. Like women's side, men's side, it's all like the high
The games are
rankings.
exciting though.
The games were exciting. But yeah, like I said again, I don't know what it is, but the it's not really the quality of the product. Like you said, the games are exciting, but there's just not that like appeal for watching March Madness this year. I don't know if it's because like NBA is picking up, and like that has so much pull, or honestly, I think we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I think baseball's done a really good job of marketing like from this off season into the past year, where like regular season games are coming more becoming more watchable. I don't know. I something about it that I feel like the shift, because usually around this time, college basketball dominates, right? But I just feel like a general consensus is not as much like viewership. Maybe we'll check the ratings when it comes out later, but yeah, I just don't feel that same hype like I used to in the past. Um, But nonetheless, we'll get into some NBA stuff first. Lakers have had quite the eventful week, you could say. Going back to last week, right?
I guess you could
They,
say it's the roller coaster, literally a roller coaster week
yeah, I
check-in
mean,
since we
yeah.
last had an episode.
So obviously, so they come off and they go to the Pacers, right? And that was a crazy one where I mean it was back and forth the whole way. And LeBron, right, gets the tip in with like barely any time left on the clock. So huge win, right? Beating a really good Pacers team, by the way, at or like on the road. I really thought that was the win that was finally going to right the ship. I think Luca spoke about it post game as well. Because before that, they were on that little 3 game losing streak on their Eastern Conference road trip. So it's kind of like that felt like the one that they needed to get them back on track. And, they carried that into the Chicago game for most of it, I would say. The Bulls, people aren't really paying attention, but they are hot right now.
We're in the
Um,
play-in.
yeah, I mean, well, they lost to the Thunder, and they
Well,
lost a close one. I mean, a lot of people are going to lose against the Thunder. Lost a tough one to the Mavs, but before that, they're on a nice little win streak. So Bulls were playing pretty well. Lakers, I mean, what more can you say other than gave the game away essentially, right? Even though we know by now Josh Giddey hits probably at this point the shot of the year in the regular season, right? Just past half court buzzer beater to win it. Um, but it really shouldn't even have come down to that, Matt, right? Like they had a double digit point lead in the fourth quarter, and then they get outscored 44-26. Like they were just allowing Chicago to hang around, hit three after three after three. And then
yeah,
obviously
but
LeBron, who was the
that's the part that's
savior,
bad.
LeBron, the savior the night before, just lazy. I mean, like I get he's trying to conserve energy on the defensive end, but you can tell sometimes that, you know, the full effort isn't there. It's like watching Luca too, but gives up the three on he over rotates, right? Gives up an open three in the corner, then goes, gets the inbound, and I don't even know,
Yeah, this is
like just
bad.
late, just
That's a bad
lazy.
pass by LeBron.
Lazy
Can't do that.
from the most veteran player in the league and one of the smartest basketball players of all time, right? Everyone talks about the IQ. Just a lazy pass from LeBron there for a giddy steal. It was almost like it's like the Reggie Miller,
Reggie
right?
Miller. Yeah.
So But this one was a little more egregious, I think, because LeBron, I mean, just like kind of just lackadaisical. Oh, let me just like nice little easy little inbound, uh, stolen away. Kobe went for three, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I'm still thinking like, oh, 3 seconds left. See what JJ can cook up. Sure enough, Austin Reeves, right? Like takes it to the hole, easy, gets a score, and then as soon as they scored, I'm like, okay, well now there's still time left. Let's match up, you know. And I'm seeing the play unfold in slow motion, and I get that you don't want to foul on the heave, right? But walking into an uncontested shot from half court. Like players, they practice that shot, right? Like especially from half court. If it's like one of those weird spots on the floor, right, from like 35 feet or behind. But when you allow a guy to go straight down the middle, uncontested from half court, like we've seen fans hit that all the time, right? So really, I was also disappointed that we don't pick up or at least put a decent contest on, or at least change, make him change direction or something. We just let him walk into a wide open, three. Still a low percentage shot, but I mean, of all the low percentage shots you're going to take from a half court heave, don't you want to be like dead center with a free lane to walk right into it, right? Like,
I guess
so
so.
even with that, I was disappointed. And honestly, the Lakers kind of deserved to lose that game with how they gave it up at the end. So that one was pretty disappointing. But like you said, Matt, they were able to bounce back these past two games, huge games, by the way, right? Against the Grizzlies, and then tonight against the Rockets. Two of the teams there jockeying for position in the Western Conference. I thought the Houston win tonight was arguably more impressive than the Grizzlies one, just because Houston has been rolling. They're at home, right? I think they had 8 or 9 wins in a row up until tonight. But yeah, it's a nice little bounce back. And like I said, I still feel really confident in this team to get it done. They just find a way. They're like finding ways to win the tough ones now, which is really good to see. Because I mean, even the Bulls one, like sometimes you get lazy, right? Sometimes things like that happen, but they were still in position. It took like a half court heave to win that game too, right? So they still found a way to win, and that's what it comes down to, like when it matters the most, right? Especially when we head into the playoffs or in this stretch run, you're not going to be blowing good teams out by 10 plus, 15 plus points every single night, right? It's going to come down to what matters. Okay, maybe we choke the lead, but guess what? We're heading out with the victory, heading out with the W. We're down early, but we clawed back. Even tonight wasn't a great shooting performance by the team, but found a way to win on the road against a really good Houston team. Albeit they were pretty depleted. They didn't have like Cam Whitmore, Jeff Green, Jay Tate, all those guys on the bench. So they weren't at their full strength, but still a really good team that was really hot. But I mean, Lakers only shot 39% from the field, found a way to win somehow, and that's what is gives me the most confidence about this team. Like when things aren't going right, they can still they're tough, right? They're playing team basketball. The effort is there, and they have enough talent, obviously, to get the job done offensively. So, still feel pretty good. This was a big win, especially statistic or standings wise, because now I think they're only a game back of Denver and 2.5 now back of Houston. That might be a little bit of a reach, but if they can kind of claw and scratch their way to get the 3 seed, I don't know. I think that might be pretty good for them. So, uh,
7 games to go. I mean, there's still a shot. Granted that the Thunder are in the way twice, so that's probably, I would say, best case scenario, a split. But two potential losses, I think. So might be hard to get the 2 seed, but ideally, if you're the Lakers, you would try to at least get the 3. Obviously, you want everybody to be healthy, but I would think if you're trying to map it out, you would probably want the 3 because that would boot Denver to the 4 seed. So then there's a potential collision course, OKC Denver, one of them knocks each other out. If you're the Lakers, are you afraid of the Warriors? Probably not, right? Like you should be able to beat them at full strength.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Rockets, it's kind of like, I think I said this earlier. They're kind of like the Grizzlies a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Young, athletic, but haven't been in the wars yet. So how will they react to, a game 5, a game 6, potentially a game 7, right? Other than Van Fleet, maybe Steven Adams, like not too many guys
You're
have
not
been.
Dylan Brooks, but
Yeah, but Dylan Brooks hasn't been to a deep playoff run. Like Steven
yeah.
Adams been to the Western Conference Finals, choked away a 3-1 lead. Like he's been there. So, and obviously Van Fleet's won a championship with the Raptors, but not too much experience. So that's a potential avenue for the Lakers. And then you would have to take care of business in the Western Conference Finals to advance. But all being, you know, you're gonna have to beat them anyway, so you can't necessarily run from
That's what I
anybody.
said.
So
Like you can't run from anyone in the West. That's I still feel that way. Like um this year, this team I think is built better to compete with every single team. Like even
yep.
last year's team, I thought could have competed with a bunch of teams except Denver. But I figured like Denver was gonna be there. You're gonna have to beat them somehow, some way, and um, I mean, didn't happen, right? But
Yeah.
this year, how the team is constructed, feels like they have answers to every team that they're gonna play from here on out. Obviously, the Thunder are gonna pose the toughest challenge. I mean, they are just
They
built.
got everything
They're
right now.
literally built different. Yeah. I mean, they got the bigs, they got the star, they got the two-way guys. I mean, they're just built top to bottom. Exactly, I think how you'd want a team to be built. I think Cavs on the other side can say the same. But um yeah, it's gonna be interesting down the stretch here, like you said, Matt. Big games coming up for the Lakers. Um they got the Warriors next. That I mean, always a close one, I think, anytime the Lakers and the Warriors play. But to go Golden State, OKC twice, the Dallas one, obviously, are gonna be they're gonna be looking to
Oh, Luca's
potentially
gonna go
play
crazy that
spoiler,
game.
yeah. And then they got Houston one more time, which could be a huge game. I think that what might be one of the games of the year, depending how the seeding goes the rest of the way. But both those teams could be jockeying for potentially a 2 seed if all goes well for the Lakers. So um yeah, I think it'll that game's gonna be huge for them. So yeah,
They're
I
gonna have to
mean,
they're gonna have to win one of those 2 road games against OKC,
yeah,
I think.
if they can split,
Yeah.
I would feel pretty good, honestly. But yeah, it's gonna be tough for them. But
I would say 3 seed probably at best case, like realistic.
and
I don't think you want to get
realistically,
down below 4 though. Like, but I guess if you're the 4 and the 5,
yeah,
it's just home court.
I think realistically, if you can just avoid the play-in, like truly, even if something goes horribly wrong and they slip to the 6, like I still think that's okay. I think you just avoid the play-in, um, and you'll be okay.
They have a three
So
game. They have a 3 game cushion of the play-in
yeah,
right now
so I feel pretty
with seven
good.
games to go. Like
I mean,
that's
that's a
it's
pretty
not
good,
bad.
yeah. So I feel pretty confident in them. Um, but yeah, like I said, Matt, I think it's being able to find ways like tonight where Luca's off, AR isn't having the best shooting. really the whole team isn't having their best
This was
shooting
the
night,
worst game for the big three for the Lakers,
and
you
and
could
there's
say.
yeah, but their defense able to hold Houston, who's one of the best scoring teams in the league, to under 100 points. Like I said, shorthanded a little bit, but had Shangoon, had Jalen Green, had Van Vliet, had Dylan Brooks. Um, I think it's Jabari. Is it Jabari Smith?
Yeah, Jabari Smith.
Yeah. So I mean, they had most of their key guys in there, right? But for them to be able to put up that defensive effort, I thought was huge. So really great attention to detail on that end. And like I said, that's the thing that's going to keep this Lakers team in these ugly ones, right? Like when you don't have it going offensively, if you can shut down the other team too, and make it a 1-2 possession game at the end. I mean, you got Luca, you got LeBron, and now AR, who's turning into almost like the go-to guy in these late game situations. Like I'm feeling pretty good about our chances if when it comes down to that. So like I like the wins the past two games. So hopefully they can keep it going, Matt. But I mean, speaking of one of those teams though, the Grizzlies, they did play them fresh off of the Taylor Jenkins firing.
Oh, weird.
I mean, not much to see. I think that's the perfect word. Just weird. I think that's how most of the NBA world also reacted to it. Um, I mean, led his team to the postseason the past, what was it, like 3 years now? Something like that.
Oh, last year they didn't make it, right? Because Chow got hurt, right?
Oh, right. But I mean, overall, like they're still in it right now. So I don't know. Did anything else really come out since then of why he got
Isn't it
fired?
just the like, well, I heard Jaw was part of it. Like, he wasn't happy with the offense. But other than that, it's like, oh, I don't know. I didn't really see anything outside of that. I think maybe upper management had to do with that. I think at the end of the day, do I really think that's the reason why Taylor Jenkins got fired? Because Jaw went to him and said, "Hey, I need the ball more in pick and rolls instead of this motion offense that they were running." Like, I don't think that's the reason why he got fired. Like, I think there's a little more to it that at least I don't know the truth about it yet, or I haven't read about it, but just weird. But it has to be
Odd.
something upper management was discussing, and
I mean,
there
they
was
were
probably some
still
kind of
like,
disagreement between Taylor Jenkins and maybe the GM or the owner. I don't know, but it's not. I don't think we should be putting it all like, oh, it was Jaw. Like Jaw went to the coach and got him fired. Like, yeah, like I think that's just a superstar saying, hey, like, you know, I think this is where I thrive in my best element. Like, which is true. Like, Jaw hasn't been that great this year. He's been very in and out of the lineup, career lows in points per game and efficiency. So, rightfully so, I think for Jaw, he's a little frustrated, but
but
not
I mean,
worthy of a firing.
overall,
Like,
they're still the second rated offense in the league.
yeah.
Like, so
And
I
it's
don't
one
know.
thing you don't
This close though to the
yeah,
playoffs, I
that's the
just
thing.
if you're gonna pull the plug, like pull it mid-season, right? When things aren't going right. But to be this close to the playoffs, getting ready for a stretch run, and now, you kind of gotta adapt to the new interim head coach. Like I yeah, just puzzling to me what really went on, and maybe we'll never really know, but you gotta assume there's something
Yeah.
more there, right? Um,
Well,
but
I'm not picking them to make a deep run if that's the case. Like they're
yeah,
you need continuity and it starts from the top. So that's just a bad timing. Like the
yeah.
only thing I can think of that I guess compares to it was like when the Bucks fired who was the coach before Doc? Was it
Oh,
Budenholzer?
Budenholzer.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it was the other guy after Budenholzer. Because it was Buden he got let go and then they hired was it Griffin or something? I don't know. I forget his name. And then he got fired after like 20 games. They were winning, and then Doc came in, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that was like 20 games into the season. Like you still had three fourths of the regular season to go. So at least the Bucks had what 60 games to kind of, I guess, figure it out with what Doc wants to do. But now it's like, well, yeah, you're hiring in house, but still, still a new leader, new voice to some degree, and you got what 8 games at the
Hmm.
time to go. So that's a tough transition to make, I think, with the timing of the playoffs coming around the corner. Why? What is that coach's name? I can't remember.
Adrian Griffin.
Adrian Griffin. Yeah, see, I knew it was a Griffin.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where he is now, to be honest.
Yeah, no idea. Um, okay. I mean that's pretty much it for basketball for now, I think. Or at least NBA stuff. Um, so yeah, we can move on now to some college basketball now. Like I said, it's just not doing the March Madness is just not doing it for me this year. I don't know. Maybe I'm just got other stuff to think about or what, but maybe I'm more Lakers, Dodgers focused right now. That's where my attention is going. But I know there were some good games. So Final Four set now. I mean, I got my two teams for the championship still in it, but I don't
And
think
I
a
guess
lot of
I do
people.
too, right?
I mean, yeah, but I don't think a lot of people were expecting the 4-1 seeds, and Matt, like we'll get to the games and then we'll talk about the one seeds after. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you wanted to talk which games you wanted to talk about first. I'll let you kind of take over now since yeah, didn't really watch the game, so.
Well, really, I mean, the Sweet 16 things kind of picked up, but I think the main game and down was Texas Tech, Arkansas. Arkansas was the quote unquote Cinderella team at the time, the only double digit seed left, but they were up double digits late in the second half, and then and kind of a just a weird. I wouldn't say it was a collapse, but a great um a great comeback by Texas Tech. Really, they kind of clamped down defensively, and then their star players hit big shots, and you're going to need those kind of moments in this tournament to happen. And that's really what it was. Arkansas doesn't really have like like a guy that you can just say, here, bail us out. Like they really do struggle shooting the ball. Like they're a ugly grit and grind. Like they're gonna play good defense, just frustrate you and be physical. But as far as shot making, it's not pretty. And we saw what they did against St. John's in that game. That was one of the worst offensive performances. Like just a casual basketball fan, you just want to pull your eyes out watching that because both teams could not make a shot. But Texas Tech, they win that one, but then the Elite Eight comes around and it was kind of the, I guess, roles reversed in that case. They matched up against Florida. They were up big, and then I kind of want to say they kind of choked it away. Um, Florida got hot. They went kind of crazy in the last literally like 2.5 minutes of the game. Their star player, who's a Naismith Awards finalist, Walter Clayton Jr., kind of went almost Steph Curry esque, like from three, just kind of pulling up, runs back to the 3 point line, shoots another three. Like it was just kind of a barrage, but Texas Tech, missed a couple free throws down the stretch, had a couple clean looks from three to tie it and just missed. So, um, kind of, yeah, weird for Texas Tech because a game ago they're on the other end of it, but they come up short. But Auburn, they kind of handled their business. They haven't been playing that well, but I think they're just obviously very experienced. Probably the oldest team in terms of age in the tournament.
Oh yeah,
So
They're pretty old. I mean,
There's
for
some,
a college
yeah.
team, yeah, they're pretty old.
Their starting five is, I think the youngest guy, Kelly, is like 22, which is ridiculous. But they have Pettiford, who's a true freshman coming off the bench. He's electric. He can kind of get you a bucket whenever you need it. So he's kind of that left-handed sniper and playmaker off the bench. But they beat Michigan State. They had their chances, but Michigan State, you know, they had a couple. Akins is a good guy, Richardson, but just not Auburn's just too much. Even with Broom getting injured, Houston, they were the team that, in a sense, to me, kind of coasted to me to the Final Four. Like that, their bracket set up pretty nicely for them. Um, their game against Tennessee in the Elite Eight was probably the most boring, you could say, least competitive. But the other team that we didn't talk about, Duke, a lot of people picking them to win the national championship, including myself. But I watch a lot of the Duke games, like even from the regular season. That's probably the team I watch the most outside of Hawaii. But I love Cooper Flag, man. Cooper, I think he's really
Man,
good.
how can you not
Um,
love Cooper
he's
Flag?
just he's literally box office. Like he's exciting to watch, and it's not like he's gonna take 30 shots a game. Like he's really just playing within himself, playing within John Shire's system. And Duke is playing really good basketball. I think they won like 31 out of their last 32 games or something. Um, just on a terrific run. They literally have everything. And they beat Arizona in the Sweet 16. And Caleb Love obviously is a Duke killer going back to his time at North Carolina, but he goes absolutely crazy. And anytime we saw Caleb Love go crazy, Duke always loses. But for Caleb Love to kind of almost have one of the best games, I thought, efficiency wise, shooting the ball from deep, and they still lose, just shows how deep Duke is. And Cooper Flag had a freaking game that day. So when he's on, no, literally nobody can beat this team. And it takes Caleb Love to score 30 plus points, and they still lose. So that's what's scary about Duke. And then you go to Alabama in the Elite Eight, a tough team. They scored like a record, 20 something 3 pointers the game before. Duke puts the clamps on them. I mean, just a masterclass defensive performance. You hold them to 65 points. Mark Sears, another Naismith finalist. I think he was 2 for 12 from the field, which is crazy. So Duke's got it going on all ends. They got the offense, they got the defense, and they really put a statement to the rest of the country. I think going into the Final Four, they have to be the favorites amongst these one seeds. I mean, they're all one seeds, so it's like pick your poison. But I mean, I'm a little biased, but I think Duke looked pretty darn scary for the rest of the three teams
Yeah.
in their way. But it's going to be exciting. I mean, we haven't had a number one seed Final Four since like 2008. So I wonder how many brackets are casuals and just said, I'm just going to pick all one seeds, see what happens. And we look enough. You look up and you might be winning the tournament bracket challenge on ESPN for all we know. But I think it's going to be exciting. Um, Obviously, you have Florida beating Auburn. I have
Yeah.
Auburn beating Florida since I picked Auburn to the national championship. And then we would both assumingly have Duke beat Houston.
Yeah, I have Duke.
Yeah. So I think it has to be Duke has to win. And then either way, I think if it's Florida or Auburn, that'll be a really good game for Duke, regardless. I think both teams have kind of like a guy in a sense, like that can match or go mano a mano with Cooper Flag in terms of just like having a big game if they need it. Walter Clayton and then obviously Janai Brum. But it's gonna be tough. I still think Duke, their offense looks good and they can control the game. They can play fast. They can play slow, and the scary thing is they can defend. And I think if you can defend with the amount of shooting and talent they have, the sky's the limit for them. They have Malawach 7-2. He's a problem, but you watch Duke games or you watch the highlights, like guys
Hmm.
are like they can't make layups. And it's not that they're bad or anything. It's just he's so big and tall. It's
Yeah.
that you adjust your shot to what you're typically doing off the glass, and he's either blocking you or you're missing it hard, and then they'll clean up the glass. If he comes out, well, they got another 6'10" guy that can come off the bench,
Hmm.
and kind of anchor the paint. And then Cooper Flag, in a sense, is playing the four. Um, you know, if you trap them, they got four guards on the court at all times. So it's hard to beat this team. You're gonna have to play well, and it's gonna be like an Alabama game. You're gonna have to just get hot from three, I think. But as we've seen, Florida has that potential to kind of go crazy in spurts. So I'm kind of excited. I'm gonna watch probably at least a Duke game, I will say. But I don't know. Power rankings, I would say Duke probably number one. I would say it's a toss up between Auburn and Florida. Florida's playing really well, I think, so I'd put them as two, Auburn at three, and then Houston at four, just because of I guess, their path. Just they took care of business. Nothing, not a knock against them, but I think the talent is superior for those other three teams.
Yeah. And then real quick, Matt, moving on to I guess I don't know if this applies to both men's and women's, but to me, what I've seen more of an effect for the men's is do you think this is a potential like NIL situation where like we haven't seen the Cinderellas because now the talent is really so top heavy in college basketball. I don't know. That's something I was kind of thinking about, right? Like obviously NIL is still relatively new to the college like world, but now I mean more than ever it seems like we don't have like a Steph Curry, right? That would be on Davidson. There's no even like CJ McCollum, right, to go upset Duke. Like it seems like now for a Cinderella run to happen, it's gonna have to come from these really, really unknown teams that have good players or just have a good run. Because
Like
there will always be
McNeese.
upsets, right? Yeah, there will be upsets, like one game upsets, but is there enough talent to sustain them through multiple games throughout the tournament, right? Like just looking back, I mean, Steph is probably one of the most iconic uh, ones in recent memory, right? Like Carrie Davidson, I think was to the Sweet 16, something like that.
They went to the
So,
Elite Eight, I
or was
think.
it to the Elite Eight?
I think
Yeah.
so.
But I mean, really, the whole everything ran through him, right?
Yeah.
And it's just I feel like now it's pretty rare to find talent that can compete with all these big guys that can give out all the NIL money, have all the NIL. The transfer portal is open. They're going to want to go to the best schools now to get your name out there. So I don't know. That's just something I was kind of thinking about. I think
I think so. I think
yeah,
maybe now
like even Auburn, like
yeah. I think the Cinderella now is gonna be like a almost like a I don't want to say Arkansas because it's Coach Cal and he's gonna obviously you give him a couple of years he can turn around a franchise or a school really quick, but it's gonna be like a team kind of like that where it's like yeah they're in a Power Five but kind of under the radar. They're not a blue blood or whatever. I feel like it's gonna be like that, or someone like Colorado State is another one this year. Like they're a 10 seed, Mountain West. Like yeah, you've heard of Colorado State, just in school name, not necessarily like oh yeah they're good at this sport, but you've heard of that school. but it's going to be something like that. Like they were literally a buzzer beater away from the Sweet 16, and then who knows what happens, right? It's March Madness, but they were a buzzer beater away from the Sweet 16. So it's going to be like a. I feel like it's the team like that. Like you know the name, but they're not like a top notch dog. Like
Yeah.
like McNeese was a great story. I think they had the potential. You know, they had the media hype, obviously with the Amir Khan, but outside of them, I don't think there was really anybody else that kind of made a push to kind of go crazy. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm scared. I don't
I'm
want the
just what
men's to be like the women's
yeah,
because the
okay, and
women's is
see,
so top
and
heavy.
so that's what I was gonna transition to, like, kind of use that as a transition because the women's, I feel like for a while, right, has been fairly top heavy. Like every once in a while, we'll see a decent Cinderella run, but nothing that really sustains itself throughout the course of the tournament, right? Um, I mean, UConn had that stretch, right? South Carolina has been dominant. Notre Dame has had a lot of success. You know, LSU, right? It's all these powerhouses that really end up stealing the show. And I'm just not sure. But see, I don't know if that's just because the women's game is still growing as a whole, right? So the talent, I think it's going to take a little while for all the talent to catch up to everyone else. Like that's kind of what I feel like what we've seen in the men's basketball side, right? Like we always say, look back in like the '80s, how guys were dribbling the ball and the talent then, right? Versus how the game has um kind of exponentially grown since then, where you know what were they like? Braun said you drop Giannis in
He scored
the '80s,
250
he's 250
points.
points. I mean, to a degree, like he's not wrong. Like Giannis would probably put up 60, 70 points on the regular just with his size. And honestly, Giannis can probably shoot better than a lot of those guys too. Um, so I just think the women's game is still on the exponential rise, but not it hasn't grown enough yet, right? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
So I don't think NIL has quite hit them yet, but I will say, and you know, this is the good thing about the women's side is that because these players have been sticking around and are on these kind of powerhouse schools, right? Like Caitlin Clark, Iowa for 4 years. She really was able to grow her brand and grow really the game of basketball for the women's side of it. And you know, now we have like Juju, who we talked about last week, unfortunately goes down, but you know, Paige Beckers is right there carrying the torch for this tournament now, I feel like. And I think it is good to help grow the game, but yeah, there's not really any surprises, right? Like my women's bracket is doing much better than my men's bracket because it's way easier to predict. Like you know the heavy hitters are going to perform and perform well. So I think maybe in the next several years we'll start to see the talent kind of spread more. I mean, there's still a lot. Don't get me wrong. There's still a lot of talented players in at the collegiate level on the women's side, but I think yeah, just to have those marquee players is really good, and I think it is kind of good right now that the marquee players are on these big teams and they go deep into the tournament. Like eventually, the Cinderellas will be a good story, you know. But I think while the game is still growing, like it's good to have UConn with Paige Beckers in there. It's good to have well before she got hurt, but it's good to have Juju Watkins and USC go deep in the tournament. It's good to have you know Haley Van Lith and TCU go deep in the tournament. Like the marquee names that are going to continue to play deep into the tournament. That's what you kind of want to see, I think, for the game, like right now. Um,
yeah,
but I mean, yeah. Speaking of that, obviously, Matt, we got our Final Four set now for that. South Carolina, you know, no surprise there. Texas was the one seed. Was kind of hoping to see Haley Van Lith
yeah.
a little bit longer, but I mean, she had a great tournament, I thought, and she really had a bounce back year for TCU, coming off of kind of the letdown in LSU. But happy for her that she was able to do well. And then UCLA and UConn, right? I mean, UConn kind of just ran through USC without Juju, but I mean, to me, and I think to almost everyone so far, the player of the tournament so far has got to be Paige Beckers. I mean, like
Well, I mean,
she's just putting on a
it's
master
like a
class right
duh.
now. Yeah, but I mean, you kind of forget, right? Because Caitlin came in and really took the sports world by storm last year, and kind of somewhat the year prior. But Paige is really the one that kind of started all the hope. What was this, not 5 years, 4 or 5 years ago, right? She was kind of, people forget she was the one coming into college, going into UConn, that was the one to elevate the game to that next level. And now we're finally seeing it all come full circle. Where, I mean, if you just watch the UConn games or even just watch the highlights, like she looks so comfortable out there. It's so fluid. It's so easy for her. And I think that's exactly the type of thing that it's gonna be fun to watch. Honestly, her compete at the next level because I think her game is so pro ready as it is. Right, she can use the pick and roll so
She
well.
reminds me of Devin Booker,
Yeah,
like when she
that's a good
plays.
comp. That's she. I mean, the mid range is
Yeah, when she
it's
comes
like,
off the
but it's
screen,
automatic. Like if she gets to her spot uncontested off the screen from like 15 to 18, like forget it. It's 2 points.
she's deadly from the mid range.
Yeah, and now you can't go if you go under, right?
She can shoot the
Then she
three.
can shoot the three, and if that's going like, I mean, forget it, right? Essentially, she can pass the ball, good basketball instincts. But like I said, really good that she's performing at the biggest stage. I have UConn. I already had UConn winning it all. I don't know who you had as your champ, Matt, but
To be
I'm
honest,
hoping.
I didn't fill out a women's
Okay,
bracket
well, I
because I
just
figured I would just pick like honestly, if I was picking a bracket, I would probably have South Carolina. This
yeah,
is like pre Juju, but I would have pre Juju injury. I would probably have South Carolina, UCLA. I would pick UConn over USC just
me
because
too. Yeah, I
I
just
like
it
Paige
was
Beckers. Nothing against Juju. I like Juju too, but
yeah.
Paige is it's her year, it's her time. And then I would probably just pick TCU because I know
See,
Haley Van Lith. Like
I
that's
had
literally what I would
TCU.
do.
That's exactly what I did too.
Yeah. Like
So yeah,
but it's all the big names, big schools, big names.
I mean, yeah, South Carolina. I think it's going to be a South Carolina UConn tournament, or I mean, championship.
That would be
So
great.
yeah, that would be great. And then because then you get it's like
The storyline,
The
yeah.
Don Staley versus Gino, and like um
The three-peat,
the three
and
P.
then Paige with her ring.
A lot of good players on South Carolina. Can Page kind of be the one to knock them off? Caitlin couldn't do it last year, right? So it's like, yeah, it's a really good storyline. Excited for that, but yeah,
But they have to get through UCLA.
I
UCLA
mean
is
UCLA
good,
is good. I
so
don't, yeah, don't get me wrong. All the teams left are really good, high caliber teams, but yeah, I think the Cinderella will be good, but like I said, I think it's good that the good teams with the star players are going deep in the tournament because
yeah.
it's just going to help the game grow even more. Um,
Yep.
but we'll see. I don't know. I hope UConn wins.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Well, Matt, baseball. We can get into some baseball now since we're in pretty much full swing now. In the regular season, both of our teams doing pretty well. I mean, I think we're both undefeated so far. So
So far.
so far, I mean, the season just started, but I guess I'll go first with the Dodgers. I mean, don't really need to talk about the good too much. I mean, like Mookie is a dog. He's we know about the bug that he had, and then for him to come back, still not. I think they said he was still only 160, but to go 2 home runs with a walk off, yeah, just casual Mookie stuff. But the one thing I do want to stress, already seeing Matt, um, which is like I said last year in the playoff run, why I was so confident is because the team, no matter what, like we're only what 5 games into the regular season. but we're already seeing, in my opinion, the same championship level habits, right? Hustling, like taking the extra base, not trying to do too much. Good at bats every time, right? We're focused on trying to put together, just string together good at bats. And when we get down, there's no sense of giving up, right? Like even the last one that they ended up walking off, right, against the Tigers, Michael Conforto, the new guy on the team, tries to make a play on the ball, gets past him, 2 run score. Even in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, it's not going to be a sweep, right? Like, so be it. Tigers are a good team. They're still a really good team, right? Made the playoffs last year, the run that they had. They're a good up and coming team in the AL, and I think they're going to be a force. I'm like, okay, it is what it is, right? But, they stick around. Conforto hits a double down the line, gives them some life. Will Smith, clutch hitting. So it's like the 2 out clutch hitting when it counts, move the guy over. Like even Shohei doesn't hit a home run, but singles. Will Smith able to go first to third. It like all those little things add up. And I mean, what can you say about the bullpen so far? Right, like bullpen has been outstanding, even with Tanner Scott really
He's the
not
worst
even
guy in the
really crazy,
bullpen.
right? Like, and he's gonna figure it out. Like that's kind of just a given. He's gonna figure it out. But the bullpen has been great. I mean, starting pitching for the most part has been good. So just like good to see those same habits that they were displaying last year, right? Continue to carry on this year. Can be anyone's night, right? Like I mean, Tommy Edman has been insane value pickup there. I mean, Gold Glove caliber defense. Now he's starting to hit from with power from the left side. I don't know where this is coming from, but I just hope he keeps it up. Um, so really good stuff. But obviously we got to talk about a little bit of the bad stuff. And really not too much bad overall. Like I
You're
mean,
what,
five and
they're
zero,
six and
six
0,
and zero.
right?
Yeah, so not a lot of bad that really needs to be discussed. But obviously we got to talk about Roki. The past start. I mean, I am really not concerned at all. Like me personally, I know people are ripping on him, teasing him because he was kind of tearing up or he was crying
It's
right on the field. Let's, I just think let's provide a little bit of context here, right? Obviously, 23 years old, pitching on the biggest stage, all the pressure in the world on him. And to me, like, I don't know. I don't think he's crying because he feels like sad. Maybe I think it's just when you have this expectation and you feel like you're disappointing people. Like I can understand that frustration. You're letting your teammates down, or you're letting the fans down, right? You're letting your coaches down. That's a really shitty feeling to have, especially when you have all these expectations. How Yoshi did last year, right? But when you really watch the game, or if you watch the highlights, um, it's really just a lack of control. It's not a lack of stuff, right? The stuff is there. When he's able to throw strikes and pinpoint it, it's there. And I think he's only going to continue to get better as the season goes on. And keep in mind, like Yoshi came in 25 years old, so a little bit more experience, a little bit more matured, right? A couple years, um, like I said, a couple years more experience than what Roki's stepping into. And I mean, you can argue Roki might have better just natural stuff than Yoshi, but the fact that Yamamoto had the outing he had last year and people were instantly, I remember, right? He gives up however many runs in not even 2 innings to the Padres in the Soul Series, and it's a he's a bust. Like, forget it. Right? Like, oh, the Dodgers just wasted all this money on him. What are they doing? Good for them, blah blah blah. And ends up like going on an insane run, even after the injury. I mean, we saw how nasty he was throughout the playoffs, right? And carried into the World Series. So, um, Yeah, just remember all the people talking shit about Roki right now. I want you to remember what you guys are saying right now and check back in with me at the end of the year, right? Because and honestly, like the value that they're getting out of this contract too, they can even afford to send him to the minors if they feel like it's a mechanical thing, right? It's not like oh no, we have to send Roki down. We're down a starter. What are we gonna do? Oh, Dustin May, welcome back to the lineup. Like so it's really not. I'm not panicked at all about Roki, especially with the success that the Dodgers pitching staff has had um, throughout the time being of
Ooh, sending Roki to the minors. That if he's crying on the field, would that not shake him a little bit? I think with the pressure and you get sent down to the minors, I think that might be even worse than just having a bad start. As much as
well,
yeah,
I'm
I
just saying
understand it.
I'm just saying it's an option, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, yes, I from theoretically I get it. Like he's 23, he's a rookie, quote unquote. So he's not polished, but he's still it's a little different like with him compared to somebody that you drafted, that's 19, he comes up as 22 and he struggles. Like even Aaron Judge was in that situation. He got sent down to the minors when he first came up in 16, I think. So but Rohi's different. Like you can't just I don't know. I'm just saying like the mental part seems to be the thing that's he's struggling with too. I think it's not the stuff. I think everybody should agree that if he literally just throws strikes, he might be unhittable at when he's going.
yeah,
But the control is a physical thing, but the mental, I'm not a fan of crying. I get you're frustrated, but I don't know about crying. Like, would I cry if I did bad in a game at 23? Like, I don't. That's a little extreme. I think I would cry if I like. If anything, it's like losing in the playoffs or winning the championship. Like,
you're just a hater, bro.
no,
You just
I'm
don't understand the passion that he has for the
no,
game.
that's not. He has passion, but it's like, well, okay, if you're gonna cry, why the hell are you standing on the freaking top step of the dugout? Like, go in the locker room and like, just vent. Like, I just think, you know, people are going to use that against him, and that's just something. But
I
I
mean,
don't like crying. Why don't cry? Like you're 23, you're not 10 years old in Mustang. Like everybody's gonna have bad games.
hey man, I'm gonna stick up for my boy.
Yoshi is 2 years older. You don't see did you see Yoshi crying after he got lit up by the Padres? Like, no. Or if he did, he was in the locker room, like having his own time. Like he's frustrated. It's gonna happen, but it's like I don't know about the crying. It's a little soft to me. A little
You're
soft.
just a hater, bro. You're just a hater. I'm with you, Roki. You be you, bro. Hey,
So
you
after
gotta
every
cry.
start, he's
I
gonna
don't
start
care, bro.
crying. Like what the hell?
I mean, hey,
That brings great news for the rest of the fans. But as a
if
like, I don't want to see that if that's my if I'm a Yankee fan. I don't want to see freaking who's like Will Warren. I don't want to see him crying tomorrow if he gets lit up by the Diamondbacks. Like handle it. It's okay. You have a bad start. You're gonna bounce back. And you gotta trust your stuff.
I don't know,
But
I'm
I really
perfectly
hope
fine
your
with it.
veterans are talking to him like,
I'm
hey, like,
fine with it.
it's okay, but you know, let this be a learning lesson for you. It will not happen again.
Well, I don't know. I maybe I have a little bit of a longer leash because I know the stuff is there,
No, but
and
I think you don't send him to the minors. He's gonna figure it out. But it's like I just think right now it's like the mental part is where he's battling right now. The expectations and if he keeps doing bad, let's like how is it gonna affect him as a snowball effect? Like I don't want any guy to do bad. Like I'm not a Dodger fan, but I don't want him to fail. Like that's it's a little cruel. I want to beat you guys, but I want to, in a sense, I want to beat you like healthy. Like that's what gets me more validation,
Yeah, no,
So
I know what you're talking about. I'm not I know everyone's freaking out about the crime. I'm not. I like truly.
yeah, the
I'm not
panic meter
worried.
is like a 2. Like
I don't
it's
even
not
know if it's attitude.
serious.
Like I think the fact of how Yoshi struggled
No,
last year
it could be
too.
a 1, but he cried, so it's 2.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm like it could be like a one maybe, um, but it really is, the resources that he has around him, the support system he has around him. Like I don't know, I'm really not concerned at all. And from a holistic point of the Dodgers, like I'm not really concerned if this year for whatever reason, the rookie, you know, thing doesn't work out. Like we have him for multiple years. He's gonna have a chance, to be really good. But I really do think he's gonna bounce back in like two or three starts. Like he'll be fine.
Yeah, that wouldn't
Um,
surprise me at all.
so I'm not worried. Um, but yeah. Anyway, you never know. Maybe it was just an emotional day, dude. You know his backstory, right? It's sad. You know about like his dad and his like grandfather, right? Like, so give the man cut the man some slack, all right? He had it tough growing up. So I'm gonna give him some slack for that. Maybe you never know what's going through his head and stuff.
Hey,
So
LeBron had it tough growing up. He was in Section 8 housing. You didn't
you're
see
right, but
him.
that's LeBron. That's LeBron James now. All right. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. We're not comparing Roki to LeBron. All right. That's the GOAT right there. Um anyway, I'm good with my Dodgers, man. Why don't you talk about your Yankees since we're off to a good start and I'm not they're not cheating. They're not cheating. They're just I don't know. I don't know.
Cheating. They already came out with a statement in the MLB saying that the Yankees are not cheating. So put all that narrative to rest, all these haters, whatever. Honestly, like it's literally everybody's been using the torpedo bats. It's just a statement because it's the Yankees. Like, you see all these pictures. Um,
I didn't
Alex
even know that was
Cora.
a thing until this year. Like actually.
I mean, yeah, I didn't think it was a big deal. Like, but I've seen stuff. It's like, yeah, guys have been using it from last year, and other teams have been using it in spring training. So it's I think of it, it's like your own golf clubs. It's like you just get a casual set. If you're a casual player, you can get a good basic set, or you customize your driver. You got a custom putter. Like it's tailored to how you swing. So it's the same thing, but you still got to hit the ball. Like the ball's still coming 100 miles an hour, so still got to do the same thing. And honestly, I would think everybody, I wouldn't be surprised the Dodgers find a way to make it better, or do something crazy with it. But I don't know. The torpedo bat thing is it's I don't think it's anything, to be honest.
Nah, I
It's
don't.
it's
If
not illegal.
if it's legal, I don't see any problem with it.
Yeah, and it's not like only the Yankees are doing it. Like it's clearly made known to the public. There are other players using it, and the Yankees only have like 3 guys using it. Only like 3 guys. I think it's Volpe, Jazz, and I think maybe
Stanton?
Gold. No, I think it's Goldschmidt maybe.
Oh,
But Aaron Judge isn't using it. He's still whacking home runs, it seems. So it's not a big deal, everybody.
yeah,
Like
no,
it's
I'm just playing.
not a big deal. I'm not even gonna talk about it a lot. But the play itself, I'm not gonna get too hyped. It's one series, but um I will say this is what the Yankees are capable of being, I would say, with kind of the what if players. Well, it's like, well, what if Austin Wells plays well? We kind of saw it, right? He smacks the first home run on opening day, in the bottom of the first. Well, what if Volpe starts to hit? Well, maybe it's the torpedo bat, but he's shown some pop early in the season. I mean, he's got 2 hits, but 2 home runs. He's still he's not chasing pitches, which is good to see going into year 3. Another what if? Well, Paul Goldschmidt, he's kind of old, had a down season. The
I think
first
that's
game
going to
was
be a
pretty
huge pickup for
rough.
you guys. I personally, I think.
Yeah. First game was kind of bad. I was like, oh my gosh, he looks terrible. But then hey, game 2 and game 3, he turned into that's like MVP Paul Goldschmidt.
Hmm.
Not even the home runs. It was just the quality of the at bats. Like I was more impressed with 2 strikes, hits it to right center field, clean single. Like that brings me more joy than hitting a home run. Everybody gonna hit home runs in Yankee Stadium. Like it's just a given. But I want to see quality at bats. Cody Bellinger is probably, I would say, top 2 in the team in terms of, well, if this guy does well, we have a chance to do good things. He's another one. Had obviously a nice bomb off Nestor. Um, but his quality of the at bats were good. Like he's not chasing pitches. Like he's gonna get out, but 2 strike approach, was able to pepper balls. Runners on third with less than 2 outs. I saw 2 strike at bat. Hits a sac fly. Like that's the little things bring me so much joy with the Yankees because maybe because my dad's a Dodgers fan, you're a Dodgers fan. I see a lot of Dodgers stuff, growing up and now through you. It just seems like the Dodgers, and even this year, I feel like their timely hitting is very good and they're very fundamentally sound. I have to give them that. So with the Yankees, I don't get that all the time. It's either we mash home runs, all or nothing, or we strike out. It's like we pray for the long ball. Let's not do that all the time. We can play situational baseball, hitting sac flies. Jazz Chisholm, another what if. He obviously his name came up, torpedo bat, but the quality of the at bat was better. Like line drives. Still, Jazz's swing is still a little loopy. I just need to see him go
I don't know.
more.
I don't think it's ever going to change though. I think that will always
I
be his
know.
swing.
Yeah, but it's like, I still want to see him drive the ball. Like I think all his hits were to the pull side. So I just do want to see him level it off, go to left center a little bit. But I think his swing, obviously, is very tailor made for Yankee Stadium with the short porch. So if he's going to hit like that, whatever, I'm not going to complain too much. But still want to see that progression. But overall, it was a good start for Jazz. So really, everybody was clicking except Jason Dominguez. But I don't even think his at bats were bad. Like he drew walks. He was patient, seeing pitches. So it's the first weekend. I'm not going to overreact. I actually liked what I saw, believe it or not, from starting pitching. Carlos Rodon was great. Max Fried, the numbers didn't look great, but it was great. It's just his defense let him down.
Yeah.
Um, who was game 3? Now I'm
What's
blanking.
new?
Stroman, it's
Sherman.
like, well, like it's kind of like typical Marcus Stroman. He's not gonna go 7 innings, shut you out. I just need him to get 4, preferably 5 and 6 innings. But it's the first start, so it's a pass. Just keep us in the game. Just keep us in the game. Don't lose the game for us. And he did that. And then the bullpen, obviously, we weren't really tested the last 2 games, but Tim Hill looks like he's still in playoff form early. Mark Lauder Jr., same thing. Luke Weaver, same thing. But the big one was Devin Williams. I wanted to see how he would react to pitching in Yankee Stadium. And he got tested. He got tested early. He didn't have his great stuff. Um, but I kind of like that he kind of had to grind it out a little bit on that first one because, it's a good way to break yourself in, especially knowing that he got out of it against his old team. Being able to pitch when you don't have it going says a lot to me. And he was in a jam and he somehow found a way to get out of it. Now, with that being said, maybe it's the Brewers. They just know him. But his last 2, I guess you could say, appearances that counted, box score wise, not very good because you go back to last season, he was with the Brewers. He gave up the rally to the Mets in game 3 of the wild card series. he was tipping his pitches. And we go back to Thursday, opening day, they were hitting him around. But I don't know, maybe that's the Brewers because they know him. But I don't know. His changeup is great, but if teams are just going to be sitting on it, maybe Matt Blake needs to just figure out a way to develop some kind of slider, a cutter, like just something that breaks different than a changeup. Like it can't be all change. I don't want to see no Tommy Canely throwing 50 changeups in a
Bro, it
row.
still works though. Occasionally, like
Yeah,
he just pitched against the Dodgers too. It's still working, by the way.
yeah, I know, and it's gonna work. But it's like sometimes when you're in a jam, and especially if teams know you well, like they have the scouting report. But if you don't have to throw it a lot, but just show it. You show, hey, I have a slider. It's like, oh, we just can't sit on this changeup that's gonna drop inside, and we can drop our hands in. Like we have to still keep in mind, the thought of a slider going down and away, and just that thought can slow your bat down, and then he can gash you up with a fastball or do whatever he wants basically. So it's something to think about. It's one appearance, but if it becomes a trend where teams are starting to kind of slowly figure him out, yeah, we need to look into that. Um, but the errors in game two are kind of bad. Kind of overshadowed to me the three home runs on three pitches to start the game, which was like, what the heck just happened? Um, that was crazy. I don't think I've ever seen. I was watching it live, so I was like, "Oh wow, Goldschmidt, cool!" And it's like I don't even have time to like, celebrate that. It's like Bellinger's already rounding the bases after his one, and then it's like, there's no way Judge hits a home run right here, right? There's no way. Like he's gonna take a pitch here. I think take a pitch to the left field bleachers maybe, but
Yeah,
it's like
I
holy crap.
like okay. I love Aaron Judge, but he's getting dangerously into like the Kershaw territory. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
Like
big time regular season player
insane regular season.
comes up small
I
when you
need
need
to
him.
see, like I'm not like I'm not impressed. He might hit 60 home runs again, this year. Because I mean, you got to think with how he started last year, right? And then was absolutely on fire for the rest of the season after with like the first 6 weeks or whatever, broke out of his slump. But if he's able to carry that throughout the entire regular season, he'll be the MVP again for sure, no doubt. But still need to see it. Like to me, this is
I'm
going to
with
be.
you.
I
I'm
mean,
with
right?
you.
Isn't it a little more? Wouldn't you rather take like maybe hits like a 290 or something? He doesn't. He only hits like 40 plus, maybe 50 home runs. But if he's gonna be able to hit in the postseason, aren't you taking that over anything else? Right? Don't get me
Heck
wrong.
yeah.
He's a huge part of their offense though in the regular season. He's gonna put up close to triple crown numbers probably again. Um, but like I just got to take it with a grain of salt now at this point. As impressive as it is, like he could hit 3, 4 home runs a game on any given night, and that's spectacular. But now, like you said, the captain, he's the captain. I gotta wait till September to be impressed by Aaron Judge. Like that might sound fucked up, but like I gotta like wait till September, October, November to be impressed by Aaron Judge now. But just
Yeah.
because he's had such fantastic regular seasons already. Like I've already seen that. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Let's see that in October, in November, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah. But I mean, hey, no,
I
hitting
mean still
three home
fun. It's
runs
still
in a
fun.
game
No, yeah, it's
is
still fun to
still
see. It's still fun to see. Don't get me wrong.
crazy.
Yeah.
Still crazy. But yeah, I'm not. We don't need to talk about October yet. It's still
It's
well,
still
it's technically
March.
March
It's still
still.
March. Yeah.
You got a long way to go, but I'm glad that Judge is off to a fast start because he's been pretty known to have very slow starts to the season. So I don't think. I mean, he's not gonna just go blistering hot for 6, 7 months. Like he's gonna have peaks and valleys. Everybody has you know some points where you struggle, you have a slump, but it's just I don't want it to be for 6 week slump. Like if it's like a 1 2 week stretch, you're not feeling it. That happens. Happens to everybody in baseball. Um, but I'm just glad that he can start on a high note because I think if you start on a high note for your season, you play more relaxed. Like as a hitter, like don't you think if you're a home run hitter going into the season, if you go like 6, 7 games without hitting a home run, it's not a, it
Mm,
starts getting into your head like, oh man, I just need one. You keep trying, you're trying too hard now to, in a sense, hit a home run, and now you swing off balance, you're swinging too hard, susceptible to more strikeouts, bad at bats. Like, I just think for the Yankees right now, I'm glad that basically everybody has gotten off to a good opening weekend where they can at least build off of that. So it's not like guys are pressing to do something like, oh no, like, Volpe, he goes like, like 4 weeks, 5 weeks without hitting a home run. And it's like, they talk about it on the media, like, oh, Volpe, he hits 23 home runs as a rookie last year. Like he can't hit a home run. Like he lost it? Is he a sophomore slump guy? Like you're in New York, it's out of all places. It gets to you. You hear the noise. So all of them, Wells, Goldschmidt, Bellinger, Judge, Jazz, Volpe, like even Ben Rice. Ben Rice had a pretty darn good series too. So just glad that everybody is building off of something positive. Um, and it'll be, I mean, like I say, I think the key is you just try to win every series. They won against the Brewers. That's great. Not gonna go undefeated, but we go in there. Arizona comes to town. Let's win 2 out of 3. Let's beat Corbin Burns tomorrow. And then we go to the Pittsburgh. Let's win 2 out of 3. Like that's all it is. Win the series and you'll be fine. So I'm glad that we have at least a game buffer because we did get a sweep. But I don't think we're gonna be undefeated by the next time we have this podcast.
yeah,
Like,
I don't think we will either. I mean, we got
well, you guys might go 162-0 at this point, and the
well.
Padres might go 160-2 or something.
I
It's
mean,
crazy.
we already played one Cy Young winner. Now we got the other Cy Young winner, against Dustin May. I'm really excited though to see how Dustin May is going to do. Had a pretty good spring training, but I mean now back in a regular season start. I don't know. I just hope he does well. Because he's always been one of my favorite like talents, but just couldn't stay healthy. And I'm just hoping that this year he can, because I think um his stuff is now. I mean, like his fastball moves probably more than almost anyone I've ever seen, especially from a righty. So I'm just excited to see him go up against Chris Sale. This one might
A
be our
big
first
Triton.
loss. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I mean, this one might be our first loss. Um, but I don't know. Hopefully we never lose. Hopefully we don't lose until we get to Philly. That'd be sick. Because I mean Philly's
That's
gonna
a good
be
series
good.
too. The Phillies is
Yeah,
a good
that's gonna
series.
be good. But
That's
um,
see, but that's what's like. You should be encouraged. Like you're undefeated and you're beating the Tigers. You beat Schoolball. Like you have a walk-off win. The Braves aren't looking so hot to start, but still on paper a very good team.
yeah,
Um,
it's
so
early.
it's
But
early.
what I always say, Matt, it's March, it's
It's
April,
March.
it's May, it's June.
You can say that because you're the Dodgers and you're the reigning world
Exactly.
champs. You
Of
can
course
say
I can
that.
say that.
Everybody else, no. Like every game counts. We need to start good,
But
stay steady.
and I think you're right, Matt. Just to hit on that, like we saw, especially the NL side, right? Arizona misses out on the playoffs by 1 game. And I'm like really thinking about looking at the NL. It's really early, right? But I mean, if only 3 wild card teams are gonna make it, you're assuming it's gonna be a fight, the 3 out of the East and the 3 out of the West, right? Like Phillies, Mets, Braves, and then you go Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks, and you're telling me like out of those 6 teams, like 2 are going to win the division, so 4 teams are going to be fighting for the 3 slots again. And I mean, let's not count out the Cubs, right? Who look good. Milwaukee's always up there. Maybe Cincinnati finally has a sustained run. So like the NL, I think that wild card race is going to be really tight. I will say, and this is a very, I don't know if this is a cocky thing to say, but I'm glad that so far the Padres are still looking hungry and good because, like I said last year, hindsight 2020, obviously, but what pushed the Dodgers to become that championship level caliber team? I think it was the Padres. It was partly the Padres, right? Beating them the year before, or a couple years before, pushing them to the brink again this year. But being able to overcome them, in my opinion, really helped build that championship caliber DNA in the team. So I'm hoping that the Padres keep things close again. I hope we still win the division, but I hope it's still like we got to play competitive ball throughout the course of the and towards the end of the regular season because we saw what how valuable that competition was, right? How we were saying, does the wild card start hurting the teams that don't play? Because they get rusty. How do you simulate that? Yada yada. Maybe hopefully the Dodgers figured it out, but yeah, I am hoping that at least the Padres can be some or someone is competitive and pushing, and it's not just we're out so far ahead and take the foot off the pedal. But like I said,
Yep.
that's a very cocky ask. Obviously, if
Yeah.
if we can blow everyone out, that's great. I love it. But in the perfect world, we win the division, but it's still close, so that we can keep the competitive spirit going. But like you see how like picky I can be with my my requests. It's kind of ridiculous. I
Yeah,
must sound like a douchebag right
the
now, but
Yankees, it's the AL East is gonna be the Orioles are good. Like Boston might have a comeback season
can
if
never
Rafael
count out
Devers
Tampa too.
figures out how to freaking hit.
Yeah, yeah, you're telling me.
But yeah, I'm in a different boat. Like I'm not saying you're gonna throw away a game, but you're going into every game thinking, how are we gonna win this game? It's not like like we got, I wasn't going into like Milwaukee thinking, oh, we won two in a row or we won the series, great. It's like no, like how are we gonna get the sweep now? Like stay hungry. Yankees need to stay hungry. And I think they are. They have a sour taste in their mouth from last year, so I think that's fueling them a little bit. Um, Especially early with no, I guess, regular season injuries. Knock on wood yet. Stanton still has to come back. Luis Hill will get back hopefully sooner than later, but probably middle of summer. Clark Schmidt's on the way. He's a couple weeks out. So once we get those guys back, we'll look a little deeper. Obviously, no Garrett Cole, but we'll talk about that at the trade deadline because that's when we make that World Series push. When we get Sandy Alcantara, Dylan Cease. Maybe not Dylan Cease because they need all the ammo they can get
Yeah, I don't think you're getting Cease, but
to catch the Dodgers. But yeah, it's a yeah first series. Everybody's building on some good positive vibes after opening weekend. Except the Red Sox, Rafael Devers was like over 19 and like 15 strikeouts.
yeah.
I mean, that brings me joy because I hate the Red Sox and I love to see them fail miserably. But hey, if you guys want to trade him, we'll take. He can
I'll
play
just
third
say,
base.
dude is absolutely killing my fantasy right now.
You
Like,
have Devers on fantasy.
yeah, he's single handedly destroying my fantasy
Oof.
team right now. Because the
Well,
rest of my team is doing pretty
Rokie's killing
good.
my fantasy team with his walks, man. He needs to just throw it over the middle.
Yeah, my team was doing not bad, but uh, yeah, some of these guys are absolutely killing me. So
Yeah. Oh, at least you don't have Profar. Profar got suspended for 80 games.
see, and I don't know if you saw the memes, Matt, but they were saying like, um, after Will Smith is like said he's like irrelevant or something, blah blah blah, and then he got really good out of nowhere.
Well, I guess we know why
Guess
now.
we know what happened. Oh, all of a sudden, this guy that's been in the league for 7, 8 years, whatever it was, suddenly turns into a power hitter, all-star caliber talent out of nowhere. Oh, okay. Now I see what's adding up. I don't know. Let's test all those guys on there, right? Because Tatis,
Tatis got
now it's
suspended already, like a couple years
now
ago.
it's yeah, now it's Profar. I don't know who's next on that list. Manny's been consistent the whole time. Um, but I don't know.
Or
I think we got
Jackson
to
Merrill
start.
next.
Jackson, he came in hot, so unless last year was the fluke, I don't know. But um, yeah, that's crazy. But um,
Is he getting booed at Dodger Stadium? Or I guess not anymore, but I feel like he would get booed after last year, right? The
I
the whole
think he for
fan.
sure would get booed. I would hope so.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, I think that'll cover our baseball and allow us to kind of wrap up here, Matt. So why don't you start us off with our quick hitters with the Jerry Jones Award.
All right. Jerry Jones Award winner this week actually happened tonight. Um, it's gonna go to Alfred Şengün. Dude just had a bad day. Was on the wrong side of a lot of highlights. um, he got dropped to the floor by Luca. He got postered by Jackson Hayes, and he got swatted like crazy by LeBron James at the end of the game. Like just a brutal low
Unlucky.
light package tonight. So yeah, tough one for Şengün. He's a great player, all-star, but it was little might be on SportsCenter top 10 three times
Oof.
for
That's a
the wrong
tough one.
reasons.
That's a tough one. Okay. Well, Matt, I'm lucky to be able to do this fan tribute this week. So obviously I got two actually. So we didn't talk about them, but
Is
the
it Hawaii
first
baseball?
one gotta show love to Hawaii baseball, especially after their comeback against CSUN. I mean, I think they were down 10-4 in the bottom going into the top of the ninth on the road. And we haven't talked a lot about UH baseball yet. We might start as March Madness kind of dies down, but obviously they're a really good home team, like that's been established. I want to see how they're going to be able to perform on the road, and that game gave me a lot of confidence, right? To know that they're not going to be down, and they can win. They're hitting for power this year. I don't know what's going on because last year, so much small ball and stealing bases, we're hit and run, bunt, all
And
this
they're still
stuff.
doing that.
Still doing
Like that's
that,
still their
but
identity.
the pop has been there for a lot of these guys. Um, and so I'm just happy to see them pull off a win like that, right? It gives that I think that gives your team so much confidence throughout the course of the season. Because then
Yeah.
you can always go back to that. That will be the game for the rest of the year where you're down 2, 3 runs. Like, guys, we were down 10-4 in the bottom of or in the top of the ninth, and we scored 10 runs. Like, we can do it. So that right, like when you have a win like that, you always go back to that as a
Mhm.
sports player, right? You're like, we literally just came back from way worse, like this year. So we're not giving up. Like anything can happen. And I think that confidence is gonna be really big. So have to shout out Hawaii baseball. Stay hot, guys. Like let's force them to bring a regional here. That'd be sick. Um, I
Oh,
mean,
they have to be ranked like top 16 though or something.
yeah, well, I mean, we're on fire right now, man. I don't know.
I don't know if they're gonna be ranked, but I just want them to get in the NCAA tournament. Like
Okay, yeah.
we need to see that.
Yeah. Let's get in the tournament. I think you're right. One step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a
Um,
time.
but the other one, obviously, I had to shout out a Dodger. The other Hawaii boy, Kirby Yates. Like, dude has been absolutely lights out so far. For us, like people will complain, oh, like Dodgers are so stacked. Like, how do they? Oh, they got Kirby Yates too. Blah blah blah. I mean, everyone else had a chance to go on and sign him too, but yeah, no one else wanted to pay him, I guess. I don't know. But so far, man, I mean, like, just come in, dominated. I think he's only pitched like 3 innings. He has 7 strikeouts. So you tell me, I think that's pretty good. 7 out of 9 outs is strikeouts. So I had to shout out the Hoy boy. But yeah, that's gonna be my fans tribute for the week.
All right. Sports fact of the day, March 31st, we're recording kind of a weird one. I'll go to 1994 when the Chicago White Sox sent someone to double A on this day by the name of Michael Jordan. Yeah, he got sent down to double A after playing in the majors. And then shortly after that, meaning one season later, he returns to the NBA and wins three more championships in a row. So just goes to show you, man, even the GOAT, possibly in basketball, baseball is just too hard. It's a hard sport to play.
It is a hard sport to play, indeed, especially at the highest level. Okay. Well, yeah, Matt, that'll pretty much wrap us up for this week. We'll be back again, kind of is it almost concluding, or March Madness will be done? We'll be almost
Yeah,
done, I think.
championships on Monday next week, so it'll be
Okay,
done.
so we'll be done college basketball next week. We'll see how the stretch for the Lakers and baseball goes, but gearing up for the NBA postseason, and then uh yeah, coming to somewhat of an end. We're probably like three-fourths of the way done with season four now. So yeah, we're just gonna stay strong until basketball's done. But yeah, thanks as usual, guys. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the support. Have a good week. Stay safe, and we'll catch you guys next week.